Hello, everyone, and welcome to EngGlowUp, the channel where we turn everyday moments into English learning. I am Flora.
And I'm Michael, and today we are talking about something that causes problems for almost every English learner.
And honestly, for many native speakers too.
What is it?
How to say what you really think without sounding rude, aggressive, or difficult.
Because there is a big difference between having an opinion and expressing it well.
A very big difference. And in English, especially in professional or social situations, how you say something matters just as much as what you say.
Sometimes more.
Sometimes more. Michael, be honest. Has your tone ever caused a problem for you?
More than once. I'm a direct person. I say what I think.
And that is not always bad.
No. But without the right phrases, directness can come across as aggression.
Come across, meaning how you appear to other people, how they perceive you.
And I do not want to sound aggressive. I just want to be honest.
And today, we're going to show you exactly how to do both. Be honest and be diplomatic.
Diplomatic, able to deal with people in a sensitive and effective way.
We're going to go through 5 real-life scenarios.
At work, with friends, in a meeting, when giving feedback, and when disagreeing with someone you respect.
In every scenario, we'll show you the aggressive version first.
And then the softened version, the one that gets better results.
Because softening your opinion doesn't make you weaker.
It makes you more effective.
It keeps relationships healthy. It keeps conversations open.
And it makes people actually listen to what you're saying.
Because when people feel attacked, they stop listening.
But when they feel respected, they hear you.
That's the goal today, being heard.
Let's begin, but first, please subscribe to EngGlowUp and give this episode a like. New episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Now, scenario 1. We're in a work meeting. A colleague has just finished presenting their plan. You think the plan has a serious problem.
And it does have a serious problem. The budget is completely unrealistic.
How do most people respond in that moment?
They say exactly what they think, and it comes out like this. That budget is completely unrealistic. There's no way this will work.
How does that feel to hear?
Harsh, dismissive, like the person presenting worked for nothing.
Dismissive, treating someone's work or opinion as if it has no value.
And when you're dismissive, the other person immediately becomes defensive.
Defensive, protective. They stop thinking about the problem and start defending themselves.
Which means the conversation goes nowhere useful.
So let's try the same opinion, same concern, same honesty, but with a softening phrase.
Same message, different delivery. That's a fair point, but I was wondering if perhaps the budget figures might need another look before we finalize anything.
Completely different feeling.
Same concern, but now it sounds collaborative instead of critical.
Collaborative, working together, as a team.
Let's break down why those two phrases work so well.
That's a fair point. You're acknowledging that something they said has value, even if you disagree overall.
And people respond very well to feeling acknowledged.
Acknowledged, recognized, seen, taken seriously.
Then the but, which signals that you are about to add something.
And I was wondering if perhaps, which is almost the softest way possible to introduce a concern.
It sounds like you're thinking out loud, not attacking.
Thinking out loud, saying your thoughts as they come, in a casual and exploratory way.
Let's do the full scenario now. I'll be the colleague who presented, Flora, you disagree with my plan.
Ready.
So, as you can see, I think we can complete this project in 6 weeks with a budget of $5,000.
That's a fair point about the timeline, Michael. I was wondering if perhaps we might need to revisit the budget figure, though. $5,000 feels a little tight for a project this size.
What do you have in mind?
I might be wrong, but I tend to think we'd need closer to $8,000 to do this properly. I could be misreading the scope, though. What do you think?
Actually, that might be worth looking at. Let me check the numbers again.
Notice what happened there.
The concern was expressed. The colleague was not embarrassed.
And the conversation moved forward constructively.
Constructively, in a way that builds something better, not destructively, not tearing down.
And that last phrase, I could be misreading this, is powerful because it takes the pressure off the other person.
Instead of saying, you're wrong, you're saying, maybe I'm misunderstanding something.
Which invites them to explain rather than defend.
Invite, to ask in a gentle, open way, to create a space for something to happen.
And in a work environment, creating that space is everything.
Because work relationships are long-term, you have to sit with these people every day.
Exactly. The goal is not to win the argument. The goal is to find the best solution together. Scenario 2. A friend asks for your honest opinion, and your honest opinion is, it needs work.
This is one of the most difficult conversations in any language.
Because the stakes are personal. This is not a work colleague. This is someone you care about.
And they are vulnerable. They're asking because they trust you.
Vulnerable, open and exposed, in a position where they could be hurt.
So the worst thing you can do is be brutally honest without any cushioning.
Brutally honest, completely honest with no regard for the other person's feelings.
And the second worst thing you can do is lie and say it is great when it is not.
Because that does not help them.
So what is the right approach?
The honest but gentle approach. Let me show you both versions.
I will ask you for feedback on my business idea. Flora, what do you think of my idea to open a restaurant?
Honestly, the market is too competitive. You have no experience. It will probably fail.
Ouch.
Yes, that is brutal, even if it might be true.
It makes me want to stop talking to Flora forever.
Exactly. Now, same honest concern, different delivery.
Flora, what do you think of my idea to open a restaurant?
I love that you're thinking about this. If I'm honest, I do have a few thoughts. Would you consider starting smaller first? Maybe a pop-up or a catering service. The restaurant market is quite tough, and I would hate for you to take on too much risk at once.
That's actually a really interesting idea.
Same concern, same honesty, but now it feels like care, not criticism.
Because you started with something positive.
I love that you're thinking about this. That acknowledges the courage it takes to have a big idea.
Acknowledges, recognizes, and gives credit for.
And would you consider is particularly powerful because it gives the person agency.
Agency, the power to make their own choice.
You're not telling them what to do. You're opening a door and letting them walk through it if they choose.
That respects their intelligence and their autonomy.
Autonomy, the right to make your own decisions.
And when people feel respected, they're much more open to your suggestions.
Let's do one more exchange in this scenario.
Ready. But Flora, what if the restaurant idea is genuinely bad? Should I just not say it?
No. You say it, but you frame it carefully.
Frame, to present something in a specific way.
You might say, I see where you're coming from with the restaurant idea. However, it might be worth considering the challenges of the current market before committing fully.
I see where you're coming from is a very useful phrase.
I see where you're coming from means I understand your perspective. I can see why you think that way.
Even if you completely disagree.
Even if you completely disagree, because understanding someone's perspective and agreeing with it are two different things.
Understanding their perspective shows respect, and respect keeps the conversation alive.
Keeps the conversation alive, meaning the other person doesn't shut down or walk away.
And as long as the conversation is alive, there's a chance of reaching a good outcome.
This scenario is the one that makes most people silent.
Because the power dynamic is different.
Power dynamic, the relationship between people where one has more authority than the other.
When it is your boss or your teacher, most people think, I should just agree. It is safer.
But agreeing when you disagree creates bigger problems long term.
It does, because the wrong decision gets made, and you knew it was wrong but said nothing.
So the skill is how to respectfully push back, how to say, with great respect, I see it differently.
Respectfully push back, to disagree while maintaining respect for the other person's position.
Let me show you the wrong way first.
Please.
Please. Manager says, I think we should launch the product next week. Michael disagrees.
That is too soon. We are not ready. That will be a disaster.
How does that land?
Like a challenge, like I am questioning their judgment directly.
And in a professional context, directly challenging someone senior can damage the relationship permanently.
Permanently for a long time, maybe forever.
Now, the softened version. Same concern, same honesty. Manager says, I think we should launch the product next week.
With respect, I completely understand the urgency. I was wondering if perhaps we might consider a 2-week delay just to address a few outstanding issues. I could be wrong about the timeline, but I would hate for us to launch before we are fully ready.
Completely different impact.
Because it starts with acknowledgement. With respect, I completely understand the urgency.
That one line does enormous work.
With respect is not sarcastic in genuine use. It is a real signal that you honor the person even while disagreeing.
And then, I completely understand the urgency shows you've heard their reasoning.
Heard, actually listened and processed, not just waiting for your turn to speak.
And then the concern is framed as, I would hate for us to, which is very important.
I would hate for us to, meaning your concern is about the shared outcome, not about being right.
You're on the same side. You both want the launch to succeed.
That framing changes everything.
Framing, the way you present an idea or concern.
Let's do one more exchange here because this scenario is so important.
Go ahead.
What if the manager dismisses your concern? They say, no, we're launching next week, that's final.
Then you say, I understand completely. I just wanted to make sure my concern was on record. I'm fully behind whatever we decide as a team.
On record, officially noted, acknowledged as having been said.
That phrase, I wanted to make sure my concern was on record, is very professional.
It says, I have done my job by raising this, and now I respect your decision.
You've been honest, you've been respectful, and you've protected yourself professionally.
Protected yourself because if the launch does go badly, you said something. You were not silent.
That matters in any professional environment. Now, the social situation, which in some ways is harder than the professional one.
Why harder?
Because there are no professional rules to follow. It's more personal, more emotional.
And people feel more exposed when they're challenged socially.
Exposed, vulnerable, unprotected.
Because they weren't expecting a disagreement, they were just talking.
So the softening phrases need to be even gentler in social situations.
Let's set the scene. We're at a dinner. A friend says something about a topic, maybe a film, maybe a decision someone made, and you completely disagree.
Let me show the aggressive version. Friend says, I think that film was terrible, completely overrated.
Sharply, that is completely wrong. It's one of the best films of the year. I don't understand how anyone could think that.
How does the friend feel?
Stupid, attacked, like their opinion doesn't matter.
And the dinner becomes uncomfortable.
For everyone at the table.
Now, same disagreement, softened. Friend says, I think that film was terrible, completely overrated.
Warmly, oh, interesting. I actually tend to think it was one of the better ones this year. I might be wrong, but I found the story really compelling. What didn't work for you?
What did that do?
It expressed my opinion, clearly, but it ended with a question.
And that question is the key.
Because it says, I'm interested in your perspective. I'm not just here to be right.
It turns a potential argument into a genuine conversation. And genuine conversations are what make a dinner memorable, not arguments.
And notice, Michael did not say, you are wrong. He said, I found it compelling.
My experience, not their failure.
That distinction between your experience and their failure is everything in social conversations.
Let us do a harder version of this, a topic where people have stronger feelings.
Okay, a friend makes a life decision you think is a mistake. They have just announced they are quitting their stable job to travel for a year.
And you think, bad idea, financially risky, professionally damaging.
Aggressive version.
Are you serious? You can't just quit your job. What about your career? That is a terrible decision.
And now the softened version.
Wow, that is a big step. I really respect that. If I'm honest, I do have a couple of questions just because I care about you. Have you thought about the financial side of things? And what does your plan look like for when you come back?
That is so much better.
Because it starts with genuine respect for their courage.
It takes courage to make a big change. Acknowledging that is important.
And then the concern comes as a question. Have you thought about, not as a statement?
Because maybe they have thought about it, and you just don't know yet.
Assuming they haven't thought about something is condescending.
Condescending, treating someone as if they're less intelligent or less capable than they are.
And no one responds well to being treated as less intelligent.
So ask first, then judge. Or rather, don't judge at all.
Right, don't judge at all.
Speaker 1. Our last scenario, and this one is incredibly important because so much of our communication now happens in writing.
Messages, emails, comments, feedback forms.
And writing is actually more dangerous than speaking for one specific reason.
What reason?
You can't hear the tone.
In speaking, your voice, your facial expression, your body language all carry information.
But in writing, there's only the words. And without a warm voice behind them, even neutral words can sound cold.
Or aggressive.
So written communication requires even more careful softening than spoken communication.
Let's look at a work email example. A colleague has sent you a document with a clear mistake. You need to respond.
Aggressive version.
The numbers in section 3 are wrong. This needs to be corrected before it goes to the client.
That's factually correct, but how does it feel to receive?
Cold. Like a criticism, the word wrong is particularly harsh in writing.
Now, softened version. Same message, same urgency, different delivery.
Hi, I hope you're well. I've been looking through the document and I think there might be a small discrepancy in section 3. I could be misreading it, but the numbers don't quite add up on my end. Could you take a look before it goes to the client? Thank you so much for all your work on this.
Completely different feeling.
And it communicates the same thing.
A discrepancy, that's a much softer word than wrong.
Discrepancy, a difference between two things that should be the same. Technical, neutral, non-accusatory.
Non-accusatory, not blaming anyone, not suggesting the person was careless or incompetent.
And that ending, thank you so much for all your work on this, is essential.
Even if the document has a mistake, the person still worked on it.
Acknowledging their effort costs nothing, and it changes how the whole email lands.
Lands, how it feels when someone reads it or hears it.
Let's do one more written example. Responding to a group decision you disagree with.
You've been included in a group message. The team has decided something you think is wrong.
Aggressive version. I disagree with this decision. It hasn't been thought through properly.
And softened.
Thank you everyone for the discussion. I completely understand the reasoning behind this decision. I did want to raise one small concern. I was wondering if perhaps we had fully considered the impact on the timeline. I might be overthinking it, but I wanted to make sure we had all the information before moving forward.
That message will be read very differently.
Because it respects the group's process. It doesn't dismiss the decision.
It just opens a door.
And people who feel respected are much more likely to walk through that door with you.
Speaker 1. Before we wrap up, our bonus round. Extra softening phrases you can use in any situation.
These work in speaking and writing. Versatile, useful in many different situations.
Number 1. Not to be difficult, but...
Not to be difficult, but this phrase signals that you are about to raise something potentially uncomfortable and you're doing it with awareness.
Not to be difficult, but could we revisit the deadline on this?
It shows emotional intelligence. You know this might be hard to hear and you're being considerate about it.
Number 2. I hear what you're saying and...
I hear what you're saying, you fully received their message. And then, not but, and.
And is softer than but often signals rejection and signals addition.
I hear what you're saying, and I wonder if there's another angle worth exploring.
Number 3. Correct me if I'm wrong, but...
Correct me if I'm wrong, this phrase is a wonderful phrase. It invites the other person to correct you. It shows humility.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought the deadline was Friday, not Thursday.
Even if you're completely certain, this phrase makes the other person feel that they have power in the conversation.
Number 4. I appreciate your perspective, however...
Appreciate to recognize the value of something. I've considered what you said, and I value it.
I appreciate your perspective, however, I tend to see this a little differently.
Number 5. Just to play devil's advocate.
Play devil's advocate, to argue the opposite position for the sake of exploring all angles, not because you necessarily believe it.
Just to play devil's advocate, what if we approach this from the client's point of view?
This phrase is brilliant because it allows you to raise a challenging point without personally owning it.
You're exploring, not attacking.
And exploring feels collaborative. Attacking feels destructive.
Always choose exploring.
Speaker 1. Now your homework.
Think of a situation in your life right now where you need to express a concern or a disagreement.
Write it in the comments using one of today's softening phrases.
Or tell us about a time when you wish you had softened your words. What would you say differently now?
Flora and Michael read every single comment. We're here.
And if this episode helped you, please give it a like and share it with someone who needs it.
Subscribe to EngGlowUp for new episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
We are Flora.
And Michael.
And this is EngGlowUp, the channel where we turn everyday moments into English learning.
Speak kindly, be honest, and always be heard.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.